What's up, Painless Flipping podcast listeners? Before we dive into today's episode, I've got something special for you. Recently, I had the pleasure of joining an amazing podcast, and I wanted to share that conversation with you all. It's a fantastic discussion you won't want to miss. So without further ado, let's jump into that crossover episode and hear what we had to say. Enjoy.
All right, guys, welcome back to another episode of the Discount Property Investor Podcast. I am your host, David Dodge, and today I have an awesome guest on the show, Mr. Nathan Payne. What's up, bro?
That intro gave me goosebumps, bro. Gave me goosebumps.
Yeah, buddy. Yeah, you know, it ain't fun unless it's fun. You know, you gotta have that high energy, baby. That's what I'm talking about. But right. Nathan, I'm glad to have you on the show, man. You had me on your show maybe about a week ago, give or take. And we had a lot of fun. And I just was like, you know what? I want to get Nathan on my show. I feel like he's got a lot of value to provide to the audience. And I just want to get to know you a little more. And I know you have a free weekly masterclass that you offer, so we can obviously talk a little bit about that too. But before we jump into any of that stuff, bro, who the hell is Nathan Payne?
That's right. And dude, that's a great question, because I feel like I know you pretty well, but maybe I didn't, when you came on mine, I didn't talk about me. So I'll kind of give you the juice for you and for everybody. And by the way, for everyone watching, this is the way you develop relationships. You just connect with people, and then you figure out ways that you can benefit each other and provide value. So that's like why we're on together. And that's what real estate's all about. It's all about trying to find that common interest, try to figure out how you can help people progress. So anyway, Nathan Payne, I'm from Salt Lake City, Utah. 32 years old. And I grew up in Atlanta, Georgia, had no interest in real estate whatsoever. Didn't think about it at all until, I graduated from college, got married, and I was like, man, I got to find a job that pays good. And I was doing door-to-door sales while I was in college, because that was like a big deal where I went. And I was doing really well, making a lot of money, but I just didn't want to have that lifestyle, knocking doors in different, markets every summer and taking out teams of young, 19, 30, 25-year-olds that, that lifestyle. So I was like, what can I do? So I interviewed at an insurance agency job. And I asked the guy straight up, I was like, how much do you make as an insurance owner? Like, what do you make? And he's like, I make like 200,000 a year after expenses. And I was like, that's cool. But is that what I get to work up to? Is that the ceiling? Obviously they can make a way more than that. Maybe he just wasn't there. And then I interviewed at another health insurance company, because I was looking for sales, right? Medical sales. And the guy was kind of like looking me up and down. I don't think he liked me. And I was like, man, this interviewing stuff is lame. I've never really had to do that before, because I was door to door. It's just like, hey, they'll hire anyone if they'll work.
Right.
So I was like, forget interviewing. This is lame. And then I knew my buddy was doing wholesaling and lease options in college. So I called him. I was like, what are you doing? He's like, I have a tech job. I was like, dude, leave that. Let's go into real estate. So he's like, okay. And then we just freaking tried to figure it out. That's how I started. That's who I am, man. I just try to figure it out.
Try to figure anything out, bro. You figured it out.
Figured it out, bro.
How long you been in real estate, man?
It's 5 years now. It just was 5 years in May. Yeah, just started out. So I've been doing this for 5 years, everybody.
That's amazing. And you just told me where you live. I forgot.
Salt Lake City.
Salt Lake City, man. My memory is like 10 seconds. So I might ask you again.
Hey, it's okay. I think people need to know.
That's right. Salt Lake. All right, cool. 5 years. And wholesaling, I would imagine, is your main gig at this point. You do any rentals or fix and flips or anything else outside of wholesaling?
Got a couple rentals, done a couple fix and flips, but mainly, because our wholesaling business was the priority, we had to keep the beast running by, wholesaling consistently to feed our team. So we weren't able to keep as much as I'd like. But yeah, do it all. And for me now, it's looking at the what's the greatest opportunity. So I like wholesaling, but if it's a quick wholesale deal, if it's a quick novation, whatever, we'll do whatever makes sense, the most sense.
I love it, man. How many deals you got under your belt?
Dude, I think I got like 175. I think I've done around that.
Amazing.
I'd have to double check on that, but
that's a lot. Tell me about your team, bro. I want to learn about your team, because anybody that's been around and done over 100 deals, they know what they're doing, right? You're obviously super qualified, not only to do deals, but to teach other people how to do deals. But I'm really interested in two things. Number one, I want to know what your team looks like. And number two, I want to know what your marketing looks like, because anybody that's listened to any of my episodes, and I have 326 episodes, I think, don't quote me on there, but it's a good chunk, right?
That's right.
They all know that this is a marketing business. It doesn't matter if we're talking about wholesaling or fix and flip or BRRRR method or creative finance or sub two or lease options or contract for deed or Airbnb. It doesn't matter. You got to start with the marketing, right? That's what this business really is. So let's start with the team, and then let's pivot into the marketing.
So let me tell you, I'm a little different, brother. I'm a little different than the norm. I do market, but I'll tell you what, like my experience in my journey. So all those deals that got me to that point, a year ago, me and my business partner, I said, look, I'm going to go into the coaching field. You go in the wholesale. Like, you just run the wholesaling company, right? So we were doing really good. We were on pace to do like $1 million last year. I think we were a little shy. And then the market shift happened, right? The interest rates went up, and our team was a bunch of virtual assistants from Colombia. They were Americans, but they lived in Colombia. And we had, leads managers, virtual acquisition reps, cold calling team, like 10 cold callers, texting. We did pay per click. We were doing the whole shindig. And because the market shift happened, it was harder to do deals at like, I don't know if that happened to you, but like when it happened, it slowed down. So my business partner, he was like, man, this kind of sucks. And I was like, dude, like, what do you want to do? And I was like, do you want to kind of help more on the coaching side? Like, since it's slowing down, maybe we need to just like see how this thing pans out. Right. That was months ago. And he's like, dude, I'm not really, to be honest, I don't really even like doing this. So I was like, well,
hey, at least he was honest.
Yeah.
With you, right.
Yeah. And that's cool. And I was like, I get it, dude. So we kind of shut down the wholesaling business on that side, because he was running that all. And all my effort was going into showing people how to like scale and grow. So I was like, dang, what can I do that will be the most efficient use of my time, since a lot of my time is taken up on building, Investor Thrive. So I was like, the easiest way that I've gotten deals over the last 5 years has just been knowing what my buyers want, and just seeing deals that come across, investor lift, my emails, deals that are on the MLS, networking, having people bring me deals because they know I have great buyers. So I was like, man, maybe I just do that. So since he left, I've been consistently doing like 1 to 2. I'm not like crazy. I'm not doing tons of deals like I was, but I'm doing like 1 to 2 deals a month, where I'm pretty much, it's just me and a virtual assistant, and I'm getting to keep, instead of 30% profit, like, what we were doing before, I'm getting to keep like 90%, because there's not a ton of marketing. Really, I don't have any marketing spend. I'm still marketing, but it's not.
So you're kind of reverse wholesaling then, right? You're finding buyers, you're knowing what exactly they want. And then you just got your eyes and ears open and on the street. You're in all the Facebook groups. You're on all the local investors buyers lists.
That's right.
You're utilizing softwares like Investor Lift. Now, I've had Investor Lift. I don't have it currently because I don't do it.
I don't have Investor Lift.
You're just saying, just the people that do have it, you're on those lists.
I reach out to them,
emailing them to you.
I see their deals, and I'm like, maybe they're obviously putting their deal on here because they don't have a buyer. I got someone that probably is better than they'll be able to find, because I know this market. So I call it painless wholesaling, because my last name's Payne. And I say, this is painless, baby. Just get some amazing, and this is something I teach people that are like brand new, right? Like, this is something, and even you can sprinkle this in. And if you have like a large team and you market a lot, it's a good way to get deals like on the side, right? If you see something come across that Facebook group and you're like, oh, I got a guy that's buying in that city. Let me see what he would pay. And that's basically what I do. And that's what I teach, is I say, hey, look, go develop amazing relationships with 5-10 buyers in your market, find out what they want, and then scour the internet for deals and make offers for them, and then call them if you got something that you're not sure about, ask them what they'd pay, and just connect them. And I'm not, sometimes you're going to make like 15, 20. A lot of these you're making like 5, 3, 5, 10. You're not making huge spreads, but again, you're doing this maybe part-time. Like, it doesn't take a lot of time to just look at the internet. And I have put a VA in my place to look all over the internet all day. We have one under contract right now that he got using the method I'm talking about. And
so you're joint venturing essentially most of the time, right? You're not even going direct to the seller at this point.
Not really, brother. My VA, for example, he was on a Facebook group, and he saw a wholesaler post someone's a seller that he wasn't able to negotiate with. So the wholesaler was just like, hey, does anybody want to talk to this guy? It's whatever. So
yeah,
I
if you make something, just kick me something, right?
Yeah,
kick me back something, right?
Exactly. So that's kind of where I would do like off market is like if someone posts a deal and they need help, it's like, yeah, bro, I got buyers. I know what people are paying out there. Let me talk to the seller. And I know how to negotiate. I was just trying to be the most efficient with the use of time that I had. And I was like, well, what's going to save me time? Well, off market's great. Still do it. Right. But it's just, you got to get the seller to the point to want to sell. And I'm like, let's focus on the people that have already said they want to sell and let's get them, let's wholesale that deal. So that's my strategy.
Interesting. I love it, man. I love it. Tell me more about your masterclass.
That's it. The masterclass is I just teach people
That's all there is, folks.
That's it. That's all I got. No, the masterclass is how to develop relationships with those buyers when you first get started. Because I know a lot of people teach like what's it called, nationwide wholesaling, and I think that's fine, right? That's what I was doing, and I have that skill set. But I think when you're brand new, like focus on my recommendation would be focus on one area so you can understand that market and get good at it. So
it doesn't have to be your own backyard, but don't be doing. Yeah, dude, I totally agree. In fact, I saw a guy make a Facebook post this morning. I don't even scroll Facebook barely, but like maybe twice a week for 10 minutes, right?
Yeah.
But he made a post this morning and he was like, man, I am so happy that I pivoted into a nationwide approach. He goes, and the reason I'm telling you is because I didn't agree with his mindset, right? He said, man, everybody always tells you start locally, you're starting your own backyard. And he's like, I felt like I spun my tires for 4 years. And, it doesn't necessarily mean you got to start in your own backyard, but pick a market and then just ingrain yourself in that market. Doesn't matter if it's the one you live in, but trying to go nationwide out the gate is not the best answer, folks. It's not. Now, there's people that have success in it by all means, right? Not everybody is going to not have success in it. There's going to be those who are going to not take no for an answer and they're going to crush it. But the point is I agree with what you're saying. I agree.
Yeah, it's going to be a disposition nightmare if you're brand new and you're like, okay, I know I did this. I was getting
14 markets right now. Oh, yeah.
Like I turned the Sean Terry, shout out to Sean Terry, he's awesome. But the model, he was like turn on pay-per-click every state or like majority of states. So I started getting leads in areas all over. So I was like, okay, Peoria, Illinois. All right. I've heard about it. I got a seller who wants to sell their house at 50% of Zillow. That's gotta be a deal according to like the quick math. It's like, nah, bro, in that town, in that street, in that area, people are only buying that house at like 20% because it sucks. It's the worst part of town. And you don't know.
It's hard to know every neighborhood. It's impossible, bro.
Exactly.
There's no possible way.
You want to get as a brand new person, like you said, doesn't have to be backyard, but master one market, know your buyers, know what people are buying. So immediately when a deal comes across, you're like, oh, bro, that's a good deal. And that's how I've done a lot of easy deals is people from other markets will come in my Facebook group or they'll post the deal somewhere and they won't really know the area that well. And I'll be like, bro, they're asking 185. I got a buyer that would buy this right now at 215. Right. So I reach out to them and I do two things. I say, hey, I can buy it at 185. And then I just wholesale it, or I say, hey, I got a buyer. Do you want to go 50-50?
Joint venture with me?
Yeah.
Yep.
So there's two ways. You just wholesale it. You can wholesale a wholesale, or you just, you're just like, yo, I got somebody. So that's. Are
you
my
typically
focus.
Doing assignments, joint ventures, or double closes, or all three?
Whatever makes sense. I try to avoid double closes because the fees, the closing costs.
Yeah. For sure.
So we try to do joint ventures or assignments. I've started dabbling in the novations. I got a novation right now in Texas, and that seems cool. We'll see if the title company can figure it out.
Right? They will. Well, maybe most of the time they will. Yeah, we've done a couple novations. At this point, I don't do any marketing outside of my market. So I'm an agent. I can refer it to another agent. We've done a couple, but it's like at this point, it's just like I just want to be the buyer.
Yeah.
So I'm not a huge novation guy, but that doesn't mean that they're not valuable and that they can't make you money. They can, and they are valuable. So again, don't let me persuade you otherwise. But I think it's great that you're doing one. Yeah, totally. And I'm sure there's going to be a bunch more behind it.
For sure. So again, for the masterclass, if you want to learn how to develop those relationships with those buyers in your market, that's what it is for. And I'll be straight up at the end. I'm going to offer you something to join one of my programs, but you don't feel obligated to come and learn for free. The first half is just teaching, and then the last like 15 minutes we talk about how to apply what we taught if you are interested. So
yeah, totally.
definitely come. So
what's the URL? You said I think you said it. Painless Wholesaling. Is that what it is?
Painlesswholesaling.com, and painless spelled like my last name, Payne, list, wholesaling.com.
So if you are driving right now, do not try to write this down, guys. I'm going to repeat it a couple times here. It's painlesswholesaling.com. And that's right. Nathan Payne, and Payne is spelled Payne. So painless is Payneless. Painlesswholesaling.com. Amazing. Well, Nathan, I only got one more question for you, bro. I want to say thank you for coming on the show, providing value, telling us a little bit about your background and what you do. And obviously, thank you. Big thank you for, offering the audience a free masterclass with you to learn more about, some of your techniques and strategies. But the last question I think I have for you, my friend, would be this. It's a good one too.
Okay, I'm ready.
What advice would you give yourself if you could talk to yourself, right? When you were just starting out, you've done 150 deals, give or take.
Yeah.
And, if you were talking to the Nathan that had maybe done 2 deals or maybe even no deals yet, but had already made up his mind that he was going to get into this business and he wasn't taking no for an answer, what would you tell yourself, bro? I'm so curious.
Yeah. So this has been like the thing on my mind recently. I'm reading a book called 10X is Easier Than 2X. It talks about how quality is better than quantity. Now, my whole life, I've been driven by a quantity model. It's like, hey, just do as much as you can and it will work out. And that's good when you're a beginner, right? But if I could go back to myself, I'd say, look, bro, you got to take a lot of action, but just focus on the quality of your work. Don't just throw a bunch of crap at the wall and try to get lucky like you were. I would try and focus on, okay, if you're going to call a list, what list are you going to really focus on? Like, what's the best one to call, right? Or what's the best way to engage or, have a sales conversation, sales process? Focus on the things that actually move the needle, lots of offers. And when I was a noob, I was like not making offers at all because I was just like, I don't know. I just would talk to people, and then I'd be afraid to lowball them because I didn't want them to be mad. It's like focus on quality activities, and you'll be more successful. That's what I would have told myself.
Dude, that's a great answer, man. I agree completely. My best year, I did 162 purchases. It wasn't 162 deals, but it was 162 properties that I bought and sold. And this year, I'll probably do 20. And I'm going to make 3 to 5 times what I made that year. I did 162. It's not about quantity. 100%. It's about quality. So yeah, I love it. Very, very cool. Agreed. And tons of value. Guys, don't forget, check it out. Painlesswholesaling.com. Mr. Nathan Payne, hell of a guy out of Salt Lake. Pretty sure that's where he lives.
That's it. That's
out
it,
of Salt Lake City, Utah. Love that city. They got the best skiing in the world over there, man. It's amazing.
We got some good skiing, man.
Some good stuff. Well, Nathan, thanks again for being a guest on the show. Guys, don't forget, discountpropertyinvestor.com is an amazing resource for you to go learn all about wholesaling, fix and flips, landlording, the BRRRR method. We got a free community over there. We got tons of resources. You can book a call if you want. And if you just want to go learn for free, that's also an option, guys. All day, every day. Keep it up. Know this is a marketing business. And the last thing I'm going to say is probably one of the most important things, guys. You make your money when you buy. You get paid when you sell. Don't forget that.